Hello and welcome to another episode of my Productivity Mastery series. My name is Pullein and this week I'm going to reveal the applications I use every day. Now, when I was planning this video, I decided I needed a criteria for this, and the criteria is really quite simple. Which applications do I use every day? That's the only criteria. So if it's an application I have, which of course I may use, but I'm not using it every day, then it will not make this list. Only the applications I use every day. So let's get started with the first one. My day always starts with one single app, and that is Day One Journaling app. Now, I've done a video on how I use Day One very recently, which I'll put a link to the top of the screen so you can see how I'm using Day One, but it is my journaling app and it's the first thing I do every day. Now, before I reveal the second one, I would just like to give you a quick word from this week's video sponsor. This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community where millions come together to take the next step in their creative journey. With thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people on topics including illustration, design, photography, video, freelancing, and more. Skillshare has classes to fit your schedule and skill level, and members get unlimited access to thousands of inspiring classes with hands-on projects and feedback from a community of millions. For example, my current favorite topic is minimalism. Having just moved house and office, this class by Erin Boyle is fantastic. It really got my creative energy going and has given me so many new ideas on organizing my office and home. If you're looking for the perfect place to ignite your creativity and learning, then give Skillshare a try. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare so you can start exploring your creativity today. Okay, my second application that I use every single day is Apple Mail. Now, I've tried a number of mail applications over the years. Newton was probably my favorite, but the inconsistency of whether they were in business or out of business made me just say, enough. I need consistency, particularly with something like email. So I just went to Apple Mail simply because Apple Mail is not going to go anywhere. It's like if you're in the Windows environment, Outlook is always going to be there. Microsoft are not going to stop developing Outlook, just like Apple are not going to stop developing Apple Mail. It is solid. I've used it for 20 plus years and I have no intention of shifting to another mail app. I don't need useless features, in my opinion, useless features like sleeping an email, putting it off and letting it come back another day. I know it's there. Why would I want it to disappear? Deal with it. So this is why I use Apple Mail. Now, I should point out that my company's emails are running through Gmail. So I've got Gmail coming into Apple Mail. That's how I use it. Essentially, Apple Mail is just a shell and you choose which email supplier is giving you your email and you just add in the account. But Apple Mail is the number one, or should I say the number two app that I'm using every single day because it's the second one I use immediately after my journaling app. And then what else? Well, Safari. My browser of choice is Safari. I find Chrome is very energy inefficient. It seems to eat up a lot of resources whenever I have it open on my computer. I do have Chrome because it does work better with some websites, but my preferred browser is Safari. I use that I use it every single day because that's where I'm checking to make sure my YouTube videos are working properly. It's also how I do my learning, like using Skillshare. I always go through Skillshare right through Safari whenever I'm doing some learning later in the evening. So Safari is the next app that I use. Now for some of the more probably things that you already expect, Todoist is another app that I use. Now, strangely enough, I don't open Todoist first thing in the morning, and there's a very good reason for that. I do daily planning before I go to bed. So I know exactly what I'm going to be working on the next morning. I don't need Todoist to remind me. I know what my objectives are for the day because I've written them out in my journal. It's kind of like reinforcing the two objectives that I want to accomplish that day. It's in my journal. And secondly, because I know what my big tasks are going to be this morning, I don't need to open Todoist to remind me, as in this case, record YouTube videos. That's what I went to bed knowing that's what I'm going to do first thing in the morning. So that's my second one. Todoist is my task manager of choice. Now, let's get to the next one. Now, the next one is difficult. I'm a long-term Evernote user. I've been using Evernote for over 12 years now, and I've got, I think, about 8,000 notes in there. Evernote is open on my computer every single day. It's where I keep my coaching client notes. It's also where I keep research materials for books I'm writing or articles that I'm writing. But Evernote is now beginning to move in a direction that isn't going to benefit me. They're adding new features like tasks and calendar integration and the homepage. Now, I'm not going to criticize Evernote for that. It's a very, very competitive market. I totally understand why they want to keep adding these new features. But all these new features don't suit me. It's not what I want from a Notes app. I want simplicity from a Notes app. So in case of Evernote, I still use it. I still use it every day, which is why it's in this list. But my go-to Notes app right now is Apple Notes because it's just so much faster and they're not constantly adding features. They added one feature last year, essentially, which was tags. Great. That was something we've been waiting for a long time. And they've also added quick notes, which really is just making it even faster to get notes into the system. Now, my whole philosophy with any application to do with productivity is speed. I want it to be fast to get something into the system and fast to organize it. Now, Evernote is moving away from that. As I say, I'm not criticizing that, but that's not how I want a Notes app to work, so I'm moving more towards Apple Notes. It doesn't mean that I'm giving up on Evernote. Evernote is still a fantastic digital filing cabinet for all those web resources, web links that I've collected over the years. You know, it's not easy to put them into a file folder. They're much better being kept somewhere, so I'm keeping those in Evernote. So Evernote's not going anywhere, but it's the way I use it is changing, which brings me to the next application I'm using every day, which is Apple Notes. I use it to plan these videos. I use it for all the quick notes. I'm engaging it with Siri. It is a fantastic, solid app. Whether I'm going to be using it long term, I don't know. But as I say, Evernote is moving in a direction that's not going to work for me, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. That means Evernote's going to work for a lot of other people, but probably not for me. So what else do I use on a daily basis? Well, of course, I use a calendar app. Now here I break my own rule because I actually have two calendars. I use Fantastical and I use Apple's calendar. Now, the reason why I'm using both is quite simply, Fantastical gives me a little widget on my computer where I can quickly see what my appointments are today or any day in the future. Apple Notes doesn't give me that, but Apple Calendar is much easier to do my planning from. So I use Apple Calendar on a weekly basis, really, for planning my week. But Fantastical is the calendar of choice for every day. It's where I'm usually going in and out to check what my appointments for today are and what else I need to be doing. And that's really about it, except for one more app. And that is an application called Ulysses. Ulysses is my writing application of choice. I write everything in Ulysses except books. Books I use Scrivener, but all my blog posts, newsletters, descriptions for online courses, everything is written in Ulysses. I've been using Ulysses now, I think, for about 5 years, and I've kept everything I've written. I've written over 1 million words over the last 5 years, simply because it's all stored within that and it talks beautifully with iCloud, which is the service that I use for storing my files. So there you go. Those are the applications that I use every day. Now remember, the criteria was applications that I'm using every single day. There are a few others, like Numbers is where I collect all my subscriber information and sales information. I'm obviously opening Numbers every day, which is Apple's version of Excel. I'm writing feedback for my coaching clients every day, so I open Pages pretty much every day. But the main applications that I use every day is day one for journaling, Apple Mail for my email. I'm using Todoist as my task manager, Apple Notes for pretty much all the quick notes that I'm making every day. Evernote is my digital filing cabinet. Safari is my browser of choice. And Ulysses is the application I use to write all my stuff. Now, the reason I put this video together was because I've been asked so many times what tools am I using, so I thought I'm going to put a definitive guide, but I'm using lots and lots of tools over a period of a week, so I wanted to share with you the ones that I use every single day. I hope you got some value from this video. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. And it just remains for me now to wish you all a very, very productive week. Hello, thank you very much for watching my videos. Now I have something exciting to tell you about. Recently I have developed a brand new time management system. It's a system designed to manage your time in the 21st century. The world has changed a lot over the last 20 years. In fact, it's actually changed a lot this year. And what we need now is a system, a time management system that is very easy to use, easy to maintain, so that you can spend more of your time doing the work. And that's what the time sector system is all about. It's going to change your whole belief system about the way a time management system should work, because this focuses on when you are going to do the task. And let's be honest, it doesn't matter how motivated, inspired, or how urgent something is. If you don't have time to do it, it is never going to get done. And that's what this system is built around, getting your work done, so you can spend more of your time doing the things that you want to do. I hope you join me in this course. The full details of the course are in the show notes below, so please join me, and thank you very much for watching this brief video.